Welcome back for another episode, guys, at the Better's Edge. We are coming off another great performance from the Los Angeles Dodgers, guys. They are now up 2-0, both wins on the road, obviously, against the Milwaukee Brewers. And our series prediction of the Dodgers at minus 200 to win the NLCS is looking absolutely fantastic. That series price round right now, guys, is over minus 1,200. You're going to have to lay 1,200 minus 1,300 somewhere in that neighborhood to take the Dodgers right now to win that series. And as I talked to you guys about during my series preview, the true price in that series was really somewhere in the neighborhood of 260, 270 for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And somehow, some way, that price was being offered us to us at a flat minus 200. We jammed the Dodgers to win that series. It's looking very, very good with the Dodgers now going home with a commanding 2-0 series lead. And they're going to be starting Tyler Glasnow in Game 3 and most likely Shohei Ohtani in Game 4 in LA. I don't want to predict this. I'm not suggesting this the way that it's going to unfold, but there's obviously a good chance that the Dodgers are going to win this series, maybe even in 4 games. I wouldn't be shocked whatsoever if that series doesn't return back to Milwaukee, and for us to get that series at minus 200 is absolutely fantastic. Let's move on to today's card, guys. There's not a lot of action today, as you guys know. There's only one baseball game, and there's obviously no football action, at least major college football, no action tonight, and no NFL action. Yeah, if you want to be a degenerate, there is some subpar, if you want to call it that, college football action, which I don't typically cover. With that said, guys, we have Game 3 in the ALCS. If you would have asked me before the ALCS started, would I have foreseen the Toronto Blue Jays coming into Seattle being down 0-2 in this series, I would have told you no. I don't believe that is what's going to happen. But that is the situation that we have for tonight. The Toronto Blue Jays are starting Shane Bieber in Seattle against George Kirby. The Seattle Mariners are a minus 130 favorite, and you can get the Toronto Blue Jays somewhere in the neighborhood of plus 110. I think a lot of people are looking at this game because of the statement that I just made. Not a lot of people envisioned the series being 2-0 Seattle going into Seattle. And they're looking at tonight's game saying, we have to get a better performance from Toronto. The Toronto Blue Jays lineup, putting it lightly, just hasn't done much of anything through the first 2 games of this series. I do envision that lineup doing a little bit more today. However, I think that this line at Seattle being minus 130 is a little bit short, if I'm being quite honest with you. Shane Bieber isn't a very good pitcher. He's made 1 playoff appearance this postseason. It was a start in Game 3 against the New York Yankees. He went 2 2/3, and he gave up 2 earned runs. This was a game in which the Toronto Blue Jays were up 6-1 in Game 3, and he was unable to go further than 2 2/3. This is a pitcher that's been out of baseball for the majority of the past 2 or 3 seasons. He hasn't made a ton of appearances whatsoever over the course of the last 3 years. The Blue Jays just picked this kid, if you will, is an older player, just picked this guy up no more than two months ago or something like that. So this isn't a great pitcher, and he's now going into Seattle. We talked about how raucous of an environment that is, going up against one of Seattle's best pitchers. They do have a deep rotation and a deep staff in George Kirby. And Kirby pitched Game 1 against the Detroit Tigers and put in a respectable performance, 5 innings pitched, and gave up, I believe, 1 or 2 runs. And then he made a very respectable Game 5 start against Tarek Skubal, probably the best pitcher in all of baseball, and kept the Mariners in that game, also going another 5 innings, and I think giving up 1 run. Between those 2 starts combined, I don't know if it was Game 2 or Game 1 or Game 5. In one of those games, he gave up 1 run, and the other one, he gave up 2 runs. He's only given up 3 total runs in 10 innings pitched. So you're going to get a good performance from George Kirby tonight. I just think from a true price perspective, if you take the situation out of it, the situation being the Blue Jays being down 0-2 and being in a must-win game, you take the situation out of it, you're looking at a true price of Seattle, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of minus 140, minus 145. To get Seattle tonight at minus 130, in my opinion, there's some decent value there. As I mentioned, a lot of people are just looking at this game and saying Toronto's not going to lose 3 straight to Seattle. And let me tell you this right now. It's not an official play from my perspective. I haven't bet it just yet. But if you were to ask me to make a pick on this game, my prediction would be Seattle's going to get out of this game, win this game tonight, and have a commanding 3-0 series lead against the Toronto Blue Jays. The advantage that they have, obviously, is being at home, number one. And the second advantage that they have is George Kirby is a better pitcher than Shane Bieber. And then the third advantage that they have, which is probably more important than both of those first two that I mentioned, is their lineup right now is just playing better baseball than the lineup in Toronto. Toronto's lineup isn't doing anything. You have George Springer that's had a decent game 1, and he had a decent game 2. But outside of him, there's nobody in that lineup that's doing much of anything in this series. That lineup in Toronto has been very, very quiet through the first 2 games. I don't think George Kirby is going to shut this lineup down. And moving into my second lean for this game, you have a total that's sitting at 7 with Shane Bieber and George Kirby on the mound. In my opinion, if you're looking to take a total in this game, you have to look at the over. I think you're getting some decent value on the over 7 runs in this matchup. Shane Bieber just isn't a good enough pitcher to expect him to pitch 4, 5, 6 innings of no-run baseball. And George Kirby also isn't going to give you 5 or 6 innings of no-run baseball. So when these two pitchers exit the game, in my opinion, let's just call it inning 4, inning 5, you're looking at 3 or 4 runs on the board, probably at a minimum already. So in order for this game to go under, you're going to have to get another performance where this Blue Jays lineup just doesn't show up whatsoever, because I foresee the Seattle Mariners scoring easy 3 or 4 runs today. So in order for this to stay under 7, the Blue Jays are going to have to score 1 or 2 runs or less. I think the Toronto Blue Jays are going to show up a little bit today from a batter's perspective. I think that lineup is going to give you a little bit more than what they've given us through Game 1 and Game 2. It's almost impossible for them to give us less than what they've given us through Game 1 and Game 2. So that's an obvious statement. And I think with Seattle being at home, you're going to see some runs scored from that lineup as well. So I think the over 7 is the best bet on the board tonight. I think there's an edge on the Mariners, but I think the best bet tonight that anybody could possibly make is taking the over 7 runs. I think both lineups are going to show up today, and I wouldn't be shocked whatsoever if this flies over the total of 7. I talked about it yesterday. I don't do a ton of parlays. I don't bet these parlays myself, but people like the entertainment. They like to throw parlays together. They like to try and throw a few bucks on something small and try to win a little bit big. And if we want to put a parlay together, I've already given you 2 legs of my parlay. You got the Seattle Mariners on the money line. You got the over 7 runs for tonight. And then the third leg that I like, and I've kind of already referenced it so far, is the under 14.5 outs for Shane Bieber. I just don't see this pitcher going 5 innings tonight, which is what he's going to have to do, 5 or more innings for this under 14.5 outs recorded by Shane Bieber to be a loser. And the reason why I like that is because this is a must-win scenario. The leash for Shane Bieber is going to be short. This is a pitcher who, with a 6-1 lead, couldn't even give us 3 innings last time. So I'm projecting him to go under 5 innings again tonight with his second start in the postseason. With that said, guys, thanks for watching the video. Like the video, subscribe to my channel. I'm out here each and every single day, guys, giving you winners. As I mentioned to you guys in this video already, my Dodgers ticket to win the ALCS is an absolute banger. It's a minus 200 ticket that I got it at. That's now at minus 1,200. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow with more winners.